Okay, so I'm finally on the road. I've just left Deadhorse, and apparently I have about 100 miles of pavement ahead of me, so that's nice. I did a few errands around Deadhorse, so I had to pick up some bear spray and some fuel for my camping stove. And around the town it's quite interesting. It's a very industrial area, and there's no paved roads actually within Deadhorse. It's all like gravel tracks. But yeah, I'm excited to be on the road. This has been a long time coming, and I've been planning for a long time, and it's fantastic to finally be doing it. It's absolutely insane to think of the distances and the scale of the trip. Anyway, it's getting a bit windy now, so I'll give some thoughts later on. Yeah, I find it quite interesting how today I was the furthest north that I'll likely ever be in my life. And the goal of this trip is to do the same thing, but with how far south I am. Last couple of days have been a bit of a realization for me for how grand this adventure is that I'm undertaking, and how, sorry, my glasses are filthy, and how whilst I've been planning this trip for the last, I don't know, year, I've been focusing on certain details and certain things that could go wrong, and areas where there's risks and things that I need to prepare for and mitigate. But I rarely looked at the entire route and thought about it realistically. And just viewing the mountains around Alaska and the Yukon in Canada, and seeing the glaciers and like how massive everything is, and they just stretch on for miles and miles, or thousands of miles. And yeah, it's very intimidating, but the solution's simple: just take it one day at a time, and that's what I'm gonna do. Oil was discovered at Prudhoe Bay in 1968, and the Dalton Highway was built in 1974, and by 1977 the Trans-Alaska Pipeline was commissioned. The Dalton Highway was originally called the Haul Road and was used for vehicular movements between the oil fields and the rest of Alaska. The pipeline spans 800 miles from Prudhoe Bay to Valdez. Design and construction of the pipeline had unique challenges to overcome, such as permafrost in the ground and a wide variance in temperatures causing expansion and contraction along the pipeline. To mitigate the permafrost issues, a heat dissipation system is used that prevents the supports from melting the permafrost surrounding the foundations, which would cause the support to sink. This is achieved by the use of ammonia within the vertical supports that connect the foundations to aluminium fins. Heat is transferred when heat in the ground evaporates the ammonia, which then rises and condenses at the top where the aluminium fins dissipate the heat. The condensed ammonia flows back down and the cycle continues. To combat the expansion and contraction of the pipeline, the line was designed to have regular kinks along the line, and shoes were used at the supports that allow for movement. This prevents the pipeline from buckling in the summer or splitting in the winter. So this gunk is getting stuck in my front mudguard. Strangely, it's not affecting my rear at all, just my front, so I don't know what that's about. But now it's interfering with my bottle, so now I've got to clear it out with a stick. Oh man, this is tough stuff actually. This stick isn't going to cut it. You have to get something stronger. Okay, let's see if a rock will do it. I mean, that's tough in itself. Christ. So now I've decided to take off the wheel. I managed to get some of it off, but there's a bit at the top there. It just needs to get unwedged. Yeah, this is the culprit here. See if I can turn the brightness up. Is there any more there? Oh yes. Right, so this is the stuff. Just turns to like a solid and just doesn't get away. So, welcome to my tent at 11:30 at night. This is about as dark as it gets, which is to say it doesn't get dark at all. Today the mosquitoes have been out in force. I was trying to do stuff. I think I was trying to cook, and I was trying to get my bags all sorted, and I was wearing the mosquito net, but then I was just like, I cannot see anything. Let's try it without it. And every time I noticed mosquitoes around me, I would get up, well, I'd swat them away, and if it got too much I would get up and walk away and then come back later. But then now I've just noticed, so like I've got a mirror in my pack, and I've noticed, I don't know how well this will come up on the screen, on the video, but I've got big swelling here. I mean, it's both sides. This side, it kind of comes down a bit, so I can actually see my eyebrow now. My eyebrows are pretty big anyway in terms of the structure. But yeah, it's just a bit puffy. So it looks like I'm reacting to something with these mosquito bites, which is something that I've not experienced before. But hopefully it'll go down overnight and it'll be fine. So it seems to have got worse. This eye's completely closed up. If I pull it open, I can still see, so it's not a problem with the vision at all. It's just swelling around it. Actually, let's see what my whole face looks like. Jesus. Okay. But luckily I can see out of this eye, so I'm going to crack on with the mountain pass and see how far I can get, and maybe later on in the day this will go down, but we'll see. So I've got to pack up and get going. It's 9 o'clock in the morning now, and you can see all of these little terrors waiting for me. So I'm going to have to be extra cautious, I guess, because if I get another bite around this area, it's just going to completely close up and I'm not going to be able to see anything. I don't know what I'd have to do then. Walk around like this? Anyway, let's get going. Definitely type 2 fun, without a doubt. So this mud is back. You can see it's all getting in my mud guard again on my front, but this time it's been a bit different. It's actually starting to cause problems in the rear as well, and it's just not going away. My drivetrain's getting caked in it as well. The views that it's giving me south of the Brooks Range is absolutely fantastic, and even this here, it's just spectacular to look at, just seeing the edge of a tectonic plate thrust up to the sky. It's just incredibly dramatic and just amazing to look at. And this is part of the problem as well, actually. There's so many nice things to see that I'm stopping to take photos all the time. But I need to make progress. I want to get to Coldfoot tonight, so then I can shower and get myself all sorted. So let's crack on. But yeah, it's just insane views today. I arrived at Coldfoot yesterday in the afternoon at about 5 o'clock, and I've had a bit of a nightmare, to be honest with you, with Coldfoot. So I assumed incorrectly that there would be Wi-Fi available at the restaurant, but that turns out to be false. There's apparently a lot of cell signal or mobile coverage here, but I didn't get a SIM card for America, so I was in a bit of a pickle. I managed to find some Wi-Fi though that's open, and if you use iOverlander you'll be able to find that. Where there's Wi-Fi here on the Overlander app, you'll see there's a couple of other locations on the Dalton Highway. So that was my Wi-Fi or internet things sorted. And then the next problem that I had was with the post office. So I shipped some food out here. Well, in fact, I ordered some food online from Amazon and set it to be delivered to Coldfoot. And the way that it works, from what I understand, is the parcels get delivered to Fairbanks, and then they are periodically shipped up here to Coldfoot. And I believe that's what's happened with my Amazon parcel, but it never seemed to arrive here. And I made contact with the post office last week and they still hadn't received it. So I made the decision to buy extra food in Anchorage, so I had enough food for me to complete the entire journey to Fairbanks. And then when I arrived here, I couldn't confirm whether or not it did arrive because the post office is closed this Monday because it's June the 19th, which is apparently Juneteenth. It's like a new holiday here, and the post office isn't open now until Wednesday, and I'm not going to hang around here until Wednesday. So that was a bit of a waste of money, a little bit frustrating, but that's something that I overlooked. I didn't look into public holidays, and I just assumed that Monday, Wednesday, Friday it was open, the post office was open, and I wouldn't have to worry about that. But at least I packed some more food, so I'm not completely in the sticks. So I was just gifted this by some people I met in Coldfoot. Couldn't have come at a better moment as well, because I'm starting to run out of water, and this one says thirst quencher, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So this is the Yukon River I'm crossing, and this river is absolutely massive. There's an incline on the bridge as well, but it's pretty steady, and it's all like wooden planks, so it's an okay riding surface. I wouldn't like to be on here when it's wet, but it's like slow and steady. So it's nice. But look at that view. It's insane. So I'm having a bit of a shit time. I don't know if you can see all of the fucking mosquitoes around me. There's fucking loads of them. But I cannot proceed because of all this bloody muck in my tires. And every time I start going, more collects. So I need to bloody get to the top of this hill so then I can get camping. But I can't get there because it rained a little. Like a pitiful amount of rain. And it's just clogged up the roads. Or the roads have just created a very thin layer of slush, which decides it wants to stick to my tyres. All the cars seem to be fine, but it sticks to my tyres, then gets jammed in my mud guards and slows me down. And the thing is, if I take everything off and clear it out, same thing will happen again. So I just don't know. I just need to bloody persevere and then do it properly tomorrow morning or something. And the amount of mosquitoes around me is absolutely insane. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I need to get out of here. So you can see the mess it's making there, and it's getting jammed under there, but also it's getting stuck under my rear as well and dropping onto my drivetrain, and that's causing issues. Bloody mosquitoes, there's must be 1,000 of them next to me. I just need to get out of here. I can't film all this, but trust me when I say this is really shit. Like, look at that. I just dropped on it and my cogs are getting clogged. It's just a matter of time before my rear derailleur jams. Anyway, let's get out of here. Okay, so it's the next day and I've tried to clean my drivetrain as well as I can. I cleared the mud guards and stuff last night, and afterwards it seemed to be okay. But then it rained again this morning, so hopefully the roads aren't too bad, but I'm half expecting the same experience this morning. The good news is that I've only got about 13 kilometers left of the Dalton Highway before I join the Elliott Highway, which I've been led to believe is paved the whole way. So if I can make it to that, then it'll be plain sailing. So I just got to see then. A few small hills, I think, but nothing too major. It did rain. A lot. Thankfully the excess rain seemed to wash away the cohesive particles, so I didn't have to contend with sticky mud. I soon reached the end of the Dalton Highway, and the Elliott Highway was indeed paved all the way to Fairbanks. The remaining leg of the journey was very hot and hilly, making sourcing water a continued priority. I arrived in Fairbanks a couple of days later and checked in with my warm showers host, where I was able to wash my bike, my clothes and myself. Whilst in Fairbanks, I got appendicitis and had to have my appendix removed, which meant that I ended up staying nearly 3 weeks in Fairbanks whilst I recovered from the surgery. I was quite fortunate to be in Fairbanks at the time because there was a hospital nearby. Given how rural I've been on this trip so far, I could have been in a very difficult situation if it happened a week or so earlier. But I've recovered from surgery now, and I'm about to continue my journey towards the Dalton Highway. So stay tuned in future videos for that.